Spies shocked audiences while revealing a number of hidden secrets throughout the season in Chapter 23 of The Mandalorian. ELIA Kane's character was the subject of many earlier this season, a secretive Imperial spy sent by Moff Gideon to interrupt New Republic management. Is played by KATY M. O'Brien. KATY, SACKOFF'S, BO-KATAN, KRYZE, and company also reunite to plan to take over Mandalore. Kane informs Gideon about the impending threats from the Mandalorians. A pirate attack planned by Moff Gideon on NAVARRO failed at BO-KATAN and Djarin's hands, played by Pedro Pascal. Gideon intervenes even though he shares his suspicion of this new Mandalorian alliance. Giancarlo Esposito makes a second return to the Star Wars show in a very important role. Gideon and the Shadow Council of Imperial warlords fools the intergalactical forces to believe that the Empire is shattered and lacks unity. Moff Gideon, on the other hand, tries to make a power move during the meeting. The father of General Hux from the sequel trilogy is also a member of the Shadow Council. Captain Pellaeon, known to many Star Wars fans, is another council member. The captain was Admiral Thrawn's right-hand man and was reintroduced into Star Wars canon in the finale of Star Wars Rebels, the animated series. The captain talks about Admiral Thrawn's imminent return, an Imperial leader like no other. Thrawn was originally a universe-expanded character, but was also added into canon by the Star Wars animated show. Gideon is unimpressed and mentions his own goals. He speaks of the Mandalorians and their attack on their home world. This instills fear into the council, and they provide Gideon reinforcements as a result. New TIE fighters, bombers, and Praetorian Guards are included. The Praetorian Guards first appeared in Star Wars The Last Jedi years back. These were elite guards that would usually protect Supreme Leader Snoke of the First Order, but in this case, they've been called in for the Moff's major plan. The Shadow Council comes to an end with loud chants of "Long live the Empire." Meanwhile, Bo-Katan and Djarin and the remnants of the Mandalorian mercenaries return to NAVARRO to combine forces officially. The captured Imperial starship flies across NAVARRO with the Mandalorian sigil. This gives Greef Karga confidence to welcome the new Mandalorians to town. He also provides gifts and space wine and something new for Grogu and Djarin. The gift is a new operating IG-12 droid unit for Grogu to move around. Grogu loves the new toy, but his paps and him got on the wrong foot. Mando had to step between him and a local food merchant and claims it's not working for him. Bo-Katan and both tribes gather at the camp while she tries to gather forces for the trip to Mandalore's surface. She strongly counsels on keeping the fleet in orbit while a small unit lands and prepares for settlers. Mando is the first volunteer for the Mandalore surface level mission. Most of the crew attends and tells Bo-Katan that they'll go. On the planet, they run into Mandalorian survivors of the Night of 1,000 Tears. The survivors remember Lady Bo-Katan Kryze and her house. They devote their support for her. The parties form and they reflect over Mandalore's demise. Bo-Katan tells her supporters that she thought surrendering the Darksaber might have saved her people. She and Moff Gideon made a deal some years back to save the Mandalorians from the Empire's future bombings. He double-crossed her and had the planet bombed anyway. Din understands her character and why she did what she did. He repledges his support for Lady Bo-Katan as a result of this. With their good chemistry, these two really carry the show in Season 3. In the morning, the Armorer flies away with the survivors who are too weak to make the full journey to the Great Forge. The Great Forge is the literal heart of Mandalore and is the place where many of them lived and thrived in. A scuffle between Paz Vizsla and Axe Wolves, played by Simon Cashin-Dies, occurs on their trail to the final destination. Din and Bo-Katan stand by, knowing that this was going to happen at some point. The two Mandalorians get into it and fight to the death. IG-12 or Grogu steps in, spamming a large no to cancel the Mandalorian fight. They are on the verge of arriving when a giant beast from below attacks and destroys their ships. The team scatters but rallies to the caves leading to the Great Forge. There, Imperial jet troopers ambush the crew inside the forge. They're also showing off their new Beskar armor. While facing heavy firepower, the Mandalorians fight back. Axe Wolves breaks for the fleet to seek help. Djarin and company manage to charge the Imperial troops and storm into their base. The rest of their forces are separated when a blast door cuts off their reinforcements. Two other Mandalorians fall as Din fights off alone. The Imperial troops are able to hold him down as another Imperial figure flies down wearing Beskar armor. Din is disarmed and taken into custody by Gideon. The Moff engulfs in his plot and brags how he was able to scavenge Mandalore for its resources. He goes further and claims that every planet and people have something to contribute to the Empire. He sends his space fighters and bombers above to ambush the fleet. BO-KATAN, angered and dumbfounded by Gideon, makes an escape with a dark saber. The other Mandalorians also try to make a break through the blast doors. A big battle begins with Gideon fleeing away as BO-KATAN makes a hole for the others to escape. Past Vizsla, often the big man at the front clearing the way, shuts the blast doors. BO-KATAN is shocked, but Paz tells her that there are way too many troops and that this is the way. He blasts his gun away until he's out of juice and fights through until each troop is defeated. He actually survives the initial attack until the Praetorian guards enter the battle. They not only defeat Paz, but destroy him in the fight, leaving him dead on the floor. The way Paz went out was just heartbreaking and just shattered so many emotions in this episode. However, Paz Vizsla's sacrifice did save BO-KATAN and some of the other Mandalorians some time to escape. But with Din captured and Paz Vizsla's apparent demise, Chapter 23 closes on a devastating cliffhanger. Shout out to T.A. Fletcher for crushing the role for years. Axe Woves and the Armorer were conveniently absent from the conflict, leaving some room for doubt, and there was also a Mandalorian scouting team that narrowly escaped the wrath of Gideon. I'm very suspicious of multiple spies present in this heartbreaking episode. The conclusion was very emotional, but should only lead to a highly anticipated conclusion this season. I've enjoyed the season in this episode. While heartbreaking, it did answer a lot of questions that were left off, but there are also so many other questions that are left around. The fate of certain characters, for example. Are the Armorer or Axe Woves spies sent from Gideon to plan out this scenario? I'm betting on the survivors of Mandalore being those double agents, since they were on the planet for so long and never really ran into the Empire. That's kind of convenient. The Empire also has a base operating and actively mining below, but we'll just have to wait for next week to see the conclusion of this whole thing. But did you enjoy the episode, and is it adding more hype to the season finale for you? Share all those thoughts down below. Thank you for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed today's topic. If you could hit that sub button, that would be awesome. Hit that like button and boost my video up on the algorithm. Click that bell so you don't miss any of my videos that get uploaded. And if you have some time to spare, check out some of these videos on your screen right now.